Hey everybody, I'm back and happy Day of Purpose. I was at a wonderful summit today for the Day of Purpose and I learned so many things from so many wonderful people and also have been put to the task to move forward in ways that I've kind of been dragging my feet on for a while now. And I'm home now and I said, let me do a reading, let me make a video. And I pulled these cards and it was just so interesting that what I got is really resonating with the messages that I received today and the place that a lot of people were at the summit. And it just makes everything feel like confirmation, very resonant, because I met a bunch of people who seem to be struggling with a lot of the same things. So I'm figuring that, the people that I'm already talking to are probably struggling with these same things too. So I have a few cards for you. And the first two are from the Enchanted Map deck, one of my favorites, as you know. So we will get right into it. The first card that I got is the Moonlight card in reverse. So if you want to see it upright, you can take a look at it upright. Moonlight, reverse position. So this Moonlight card is basically like our fears. It's us being in our head and not making moves that we are supposed to make because we are afraid of making mistakes. We are afraid of failure. This Moonlight card is like this term I learned today from one of the coaches. Analysis of paralysis, the fact that we will continuously analyze and figure out and sort and plan, and then we're just frozen in place, not taking any action. And that's one of the areas that I find myself in sometimes, because with anything that I do, I want to make sure I'm thorough. I want to make sure that I'm giving good value. I want to make sure I'm doing right by individuals. So whenever I want to embark on anything, I want to do a wonderful job. And then that puts me in my head and I'm like, I have to prepare and learn and do this and I have to be perfect. And well, is perfect really a thing? I feel like when we understand and focus on our purpose, and if our purpose is to help other people, it's okay to make it less about how perfect you are trying to be or the measure you have for yourself, and focus on the people who could potentially need you. And that was one of the things that was brought up today. There could be people who are just waiting to hear from you, people waiting to receive your gift, and you're stuck in your head. Like I get stuck in my head and you don't make a motion. Somebody needs your purpose. The world needs it. And if you follow me on Facebook, it's funny, I said this like this morning, like early this morning, and having this Moonlight card come up like this in reverse, it's bringing up the same thing for me. Somebody needs you. And for somebody like me, I know that some people need me because somebody approached me in my apartment building like, hey, I need you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to get it together and get out of my own way. So if you need to get out of your own way, just sit and analyze the reasons why you aren't going full force for what you love to do, what you're a genius at. That's something else I learned today too. There are things that we are excellent at and outperform, and we feel that that's where we get to stop. But no, we have a level of genius that we can get to, and that's often related to our purpose work, which is not always our careers. So if you have this genius thing to provide to the world and you are dragging your feet like I do sometimes, figure out why. And grab yourself an accountability partner or a few in a team, in a squad, and have somebody be like, hey, did you do that thing that you said you were going to do for your purpose? Something else that I learned today too that was like awesome. And the thing about it is I go to these functions and these summits and conferences because I'm always open to learning more things, because even if it's something I'm already familiar with or something I think I have a lot of insight on, and there were a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, I heard of that, but just because we heard of it and we read it and we agreed with it doesn't mean we're practicing it. So hearing it again is so helpful. And then you pick up little nuggets and gems of things you hadn't even considered. So it's really good to get with people who are like-minded, and you can take away a lot of really, really helpful things to move you forward on your path and your journey. All right? So the next card that I got is the Golden Palace card. The Golden Palace card can mean a couple things. One of the meanings for this is, you know, amassing like fortune, wealth, that type of thing. But it also could mean a good emotional fulfillment. Like coming to a place where you feel good about yourself, your place in the world, how you're operating. This Golden Palace card is all about authenticity. And the message I got today about authenticity is that the world is going to try to tell you what authenticity means, but you have to define authenticity for yourself. And that is exactly what Jovian Zane said today at the summit that I was at. And it's like, yeah, exactly. I have an idea of what authenticity means for me. So figure out what your definition of authenticity means, because that's what's going to take you to the next level and things start growing in your life. And it's one of the ways to get out of this moonlight situation where you're dragging your feet. So authenticity for me means my values and my actions are matching. They're in alignment. Everything's lining up. They're congruent. That's what authenticity means for me. It means that if I say, I love this work, I love my purpose, then I have to keep continuing and doing things toward it. That's why I do these videos. That's why I do my Facebook post. That's why I give advice to people who come to me. But you have to keep going so you can shine. Like, this is the Golden Palace card. You want to shine. You want to shine. And once you get out of your own way and get out of your head and get rid of the fear of failure, the fear of mistake, the fear of it not being perfect the way that you envision it, and know that it could happen a different way, and that sometimes hurdles are okay because they help us to better hone our craft and what it is that we intend to do. And you walk in authenticity, things will get pretty shiny. That's what I'm getting. Golden Palace. You're being authentic, your true self. Things come together for you emotionally. See, the thing about it is when we resist what our purpose is, that can cause emotional discord. Sometimes we think we're intended to do one thing, but we're really intended to do another. But we're so caught up with the thing that we feel that we should be doing, we don't leave room for the opportunity to recognize if we should be doing something else. One of the ways to know if what you're doing is your purpose or not is the level of resistance that comes up when you try to pursue it or do things related to it. I was talking to someone very close to me, and we just had this conversation last night where he mentioned that, you know, he was having a hard time committing to doing some of the practice and, you know, just investing the time to hone certain elements of his purpose, and how he was finding things to distract himself. You know, he wasn't managing the time appropriately. And I said, well, have you considered that maybe you should be going in a different direction? If it feels like you're pulling teeth or you have to coerce or push yourself to do the thing, maybe that's not necessarily your purpose. Maybe your purpose is something else. And the way to find this out is what brings you joy. What is it that you do that makes you feel happy and joyful, that feels resonant to your soul, that does not feel like work? Because when you do your purpose work, time is going to show up for you. Like, you're going to make the time. You will have more energy. That's been my experience because I can go and just be tired and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But if I come home and I start doing some of the stuff that I really, really love, that's meaningful, I have the energy to get through it. And sometimes I feel so good, I end up waking up a little bit earlier than normal. Joyful work, purpose work, those types of things are energizing. They do something for your soul. They do something for your demeanor. They do something for your emotional house. So when you clear up this reverse moonlight situation and you begin stepping into this authenticity and finding what brings you joy, get a pen and paper. Write down what brings you joy. See how hard it is for some of you to write down certain things because we don't always think about that. And then if you don't have enough things on that list or you're having a hard time, go out and try something. Ask people in your life, hey, what am I good at? What do you see me doing? What do you think my strengths are? And see what they say back to you. And see if that's how you feel about yourself. Those types of things have to match up too. I learned about that in like a branding workshop that I took today. What you think about yourself and what you want people to see and say about you should really be matching what they're seeing and saying about you. And that's how you master your personal brand. So be authentic, be joyful, be purposeful. Okay? So that is for the Enchanted Map deck. So to take it further, I did pull a card from the Healing deck and forward movement. So this is basically what we were talking about. Moving forward. Something will shift in your life when you really start living authentically. And sometimes change is really, really scary. When we start living in our purpose, and I learned this today too, sometimes you have to change the relationships you have, the people who are in your life. You got to change your story, change what you're doing with your time. And when you start making all those shifts, it can feel very scary. But that's how you propel yourself. One of the things that I've been focusing on for myself is running directly into the thing that I fear. I'm practicing that. I got that concept from the book I shared with you a few videos ago, that when things fall apart, and running directly into the thing that you fear, that helps you expand yourself, that helps you to grow, and that helps you to propel forward. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it for the forward movement card. I mean, everything here is just basically getting clear with yourself about what your values are. And that's how you begin to live authentically. And when you live authentically, you gravitate to things that are more joyful and resonant in your life. And when you do that, purpose comes more clear for you. Okay? And the last thing that I have for you today is, we're still doing a challenge. Today was the Compliment Yourself card. And I was happy I picked this card because a couple things on the card, like before I picked it, I already did these things this morning to myself. So like I got up and I was getting dressed and I was like, ooh, my derriere looks good in these jeans. And then I was also proud of myself for just the way that I handled myself in a discussion that I had where I had to communicate some very sensitive things to someone. And it's like I did a really good job at that. And the other thing was, it was an example of how accepting, understanding, forgiving that I could be. So I'm going to hold this up a little bit longer so you can see it. If you don't remember, this is from the Nourish Your Soul deck. Let me show you what that looks like. Well, I'll just show you the back of the card. Nourishing Your Soul deck. You can look for this online if you're interested. But the challenges have been fun. Like I mentioned before, all the challenges are on my Facebook. And when I do videos, I'm only going to do the card for that day that I did. So if you want to see the other cards, you can certainly go on my Facebook page and take a look if you're interested in doing a challenge. And again, if you need to reach me, you can email me, you can catch me on Facebook. You know, if you have a question or you would like a reading or you just want to know a little bit more about what I'm doing and the things that I should be doing, that I'm working on in progress, you know, I'm here. Just hit me up. Okay? Talk to you soon. Namaste.